gotta be more in the basement to show us who Clive is targeting. And if that's the case, we can get ahead of him. Stop the killings before they can happen. Forrest, we need to go back down.
By we, you mean me, right?
Yep. Like I said, I need to handle all these calls. Maybe start with that creepy mannequin room you mentioned before. I still have a lot of questions about those, by the way.
Me too.
Окей, первый есть, погнали дальше. Когда я выходил на улицу, убийца смотрел прямо на меня и ушел, но лишь в этот раз он не посмотрит. Так, да, я правильно иду. Окей. Чисто на всякий случай. Красный картон, как будто он впитал кровь, ха. Мне было в дверь пройти, но мне любопытно. Нет, тут никого нет.
A key. Was this always here?
Его точно не было в
I must
начале.
have missed it when I brought everything upstairs.
А, потому что тут была эта панель, точно. Склад в подвале. Как не хватает бега. Аминь. Мне очень его не хватает. Так. Тут нету больше заметок как таковых. Тут есть фотки, которые ведут куда-то, но... Дверь не закрылась.
Peggy, give me some warning before yelling down the intercom.
Sorry. Buzz the intercom when you find something and want to discuss it.
О, я... Это считается, как будто я ухожу. Окей. Радио между двумя полками. Окей. Не этими двумя полками, судя по всему. Так, еще одна мышеловка. О, стоп. А сзади? Сейчас. Сзади ничего нет. Так, пустенько. Микросхемы. Он разбирает радио. Молодец какой. Всегда пустые, а? Ой, я могу чисто... А, блин, я понял, я могу пробку снять. Кстати, а могу я... Но я могу впечатлиться физикой жидкостью, но это все. Под той полкой фот. А, кстати.
Peggy, I've found a tape and a map down here.
A map of what?
Looks like it might be to somewhere in this storage area.
Weird. Well, maybe the tape will give us more information. Give it a play.
Так, тут несколько радио. Но не здесь. Ну да, это другие полки, мне не сюда. О, и вот радио. Я же могу вернуться назад к ПГ? Так, секунду, тут еще проверю. Ау. Блин, мне еще надо что-то сделать. Ладно, он мне показывает на то радио. Фиг с ним. Пока что я что-то еще должен найти. Я не знаю, что. Форрестом Нэшом. Тут пишется. Ну, вот там написано. Так, тут ничего нету. Фотка, я лучше вот так ее положу. В мусоре тоже ничего нет.
Forrest, you should listen to that first tape you found.
Да, но как я это сделаю, не возвращаясь к тебе? Я бы рад. Окей, так не должно работать. Ау.
George Barrow, 1968. That's when this all began for me. Follow the maps. Find the tapes. I'll be waiting.
Wait, George Barrow? We all heard that he drowned after a night out drinking. Was it actually Clive? Has Clive really been the whistling man for that long?
He says I need to follow the maps and find the tapes. I guess that's what this map is about.
I think we need to see what else is hidden down here. Be careful, Forrest. Keep looking. Buzz the intercom when you found something.
Не, я совсем понял, потому что я не вижу никаких меток на карте. Я допускаю, что я совсем слепой, но... Тут как таковой карты тоже нету. Я не знаю, о чем они говорят. Теперь я могу идти? Теперь я могу идти. А, место, где я могу спрятаться. Интересно. Оп. О, вау. Это много. Для успешного ввода пауза между нажатием на кнопки должна составлять не более 4-5 секунд. По истечении 4-5 секунд после нажатия последней цифры код сбросится и процедуру придется повторить заново. Помните об этом, когда будете осуществлять любые операции из этого руководства. Если вы ошиблись в переводе кода, нажмите звездочку и начните ввод заново. Если вы продолжите вводить код без сброса, система считает неверный код. Логично. В нашей авиационной охранной системе используются шестизначные коды. Просто введите код на панели и забудьте обо всех тревогах. Базовая охранная система Starlink 4000. Кстати, кто-то же покупал, мы об этом говорили. Включает ряд функций. Ниже приведены заводские коды. Этот троллер, по-моему, покупал. Ниже приведены заводские коды для этих функций. Примечание: смените эти коды после установки, чтобы исключить несанкционированный доступ. Оу, черт. Так, звонок в диспетчерскую. Проверка сигнализации. Внимание, активирует все функции охранной системы. Отключение проверки сигнализации. Код для входа. Мне кажется, это надо с собой взять. Это я тут оставлю. Что у нас тут? Накладная доставки. Доставка Starlink Security. Охрана сигнализации модель 4000. Больница. Заправочная станция. Роллер-дром. Вот, роллера, да. Он об этом говорил Рике. Жилой комплекс Вудсайд. Установить не удалось, требуется запчасти, новая дата монтажа. Радиостанция КФАМ. Показатель отказался от услуги по монтажу. Окей, ну заправочная станция и больница Святого Гавриила у нас отмечены. Подозрительно. То есть убийца знает, как обойти охранную систему там. А что было написано? Установить не удалось. Все, там 17 сентября. Сейчас у нас 3, по-моему, по игре.
Time of autopsy is 7 a.m. Cause of death is asphyxiation from drowning. The degree of rigor mortis indicates that the subject has been deceased for 5 hours. That puts the time of death...
Сейчас, не вижу. Ага. Ладно, понял. Я бы в любом случае рылся, так что это не особо фотка помогает.
Small lacerations to arms, legs, and face, typically obtained by running through foliage. Severe blistering to the feet, as though the deceased had been running without stopping.
Дверь закрылась. О.
Preliminary toxicology results shows no signs of inebriation. However, a high amount of cortisol was found, indicating elevated levels of stress in the immediate moments before death.
Не люблю, когда мигает вот так свет. Что в жизни, что в этой игре. Так, я ничего не могу сделать с щитком.
Additionally, there appears to be a post-mortem injury to the arm. It looks like it was trapped in a car door.
С этим я ничего поделать не могу. Можно спрятаться, по идее.
It is the coroner's opinion that the subject likely feared for his life and was chased, resulting in a
This
fall
has to
from
be
a
important.
height into a body of water, where he hit his head, was knocked out, and drowned. Following that, he was moved.
Dr. Sullivan, we need to have a talk. That recording. Shut it off.
Совсем не зловеще. Так, им погибший Джордж Барр во время смерти 2 сентября 1986-го. Погибший белый мужчина 18 лет, по имеющимся признакам асфиксии установлена причина смерти утопления. Костяшки пальцев стерты, вероятно, в результате драк. Дверь закрылась. Это соотносится с личностью погибшего, который по свидетельствам окружающих отличался вспыльчивостью. Других травм на теле не наблюдается. По мнению коронера, на криминальный характер происшествия ничто не указывает. Кроме того, предварительный токсикологический анализ выявил высокое содержание алкоголя в крови погибшего. По мнению коронера, погибший пошел купаться в состоянии опьянения, что послужило причиной смерти. Дата 3 сентября. Эксперт Вирджиния Сальван. Прости, Вирджиния, у меня тоже нет выбора. Зловеще.
If you're listening to this, then I'm probably dead.
What the?
I'm a man who likes to stay
A
informed.
new vinyl for my collection.
Got subscriptions to newspapers all over the country. A few weeks ago, I noticed headlines cropping up in those papers, one after the other. Each headline about a murder. Each murder, the death of someone I knew almost 20 years ago. And each one drawing closer to Гэллоус-Crik. Drawing closer to the anniversary. None of us are innocent. But I don't think we deserve killing. All I hope now is that I can save some folk from the worst that I can. I don't know. Do something to make up for what I did back then, I guess. I didn't kill anyone, mind you. But that's past mattering. Now, there's more I could say. That I should say. But my employer made it clear that my family would pay a high price if I ever spoke out. So, hopefully I've said enough for you, listener, whoever the hell you are, to start putting the truth together.
What the hell? Peggy is not gonna believe this.
Теперь самое тяжелое, мне надо вернуться. И да, я все это тащу с собой. По-моему, я упустил одно из подсказок. Так, я ничего не вижу, там ничего не подсвечивается. Сейчас еще раз проверю быстренько. А, не-не-не, я нашел. Я думал, я вот этот упустил.
What have you found, Forrest?
It's an autopsy tape. Doesn't say for who, but I think it must be for George.
Poor George. He was so young.
Something's bugging me, Peggy.
What do you mean?
I swear I recognize the voice of the woman talking on the tape. I just can't place it.
Seriously? Do you think you've met her before?
I don't know. I mean, I just got here recently. I don't know. Found another tape. It talks more about how George died.
What did it say?
It sounds like he was running for his life. Sprinting through trees and bushes, getting cut up all over.
What would drive someone to do that?
I'm not sure yet. There's also a tape about a toxicology report. There were no signs of drinking or that he was on anything.
What? But everyone said he went swimming drunk and drowned. It was in the newspaper and everything.
I found a written autopsy report.
What does it say?
According to that, it's just like you said at the start. George drowned after getting drunk. Said he liked to fight, too.
But that contradicts the tape.
I know. And I think I know why. There's a note with the report that says, "I'm sorry I made you do this, Virginia."
If it was on the autopsy report, then Virginia must be our coroner. Wait,
Логично.
the caller from earlier, when we had to call the takeout restaurants, wasn't her name Virginia?
We need to call her back once we finish down here. It looks like she might know something about what's going on. I found a tape that introduces a new detail to the story. Post-mortem injury. Apparently, his arm got caught in a car door.
A car door?
Yeah, after he died. How do you suppose they can tell?
How can they tell? I'm a radio producer, not a coroner.
In another tape, the coroner comes to the same conclusion as I did. George was running from something.
Maybe an animal?
Maybe, but then there's this next bit where the coroner thinks he was moved post-death.
Moved the body? How weird.
At the end of the tape, someone burst in and demanded Virginia stop recording. I think it was Clive.
This is starting to make sense now. This is a conspiracy to cover up what happened to George.
I think I found Clive's last recording. I think Clive might be gone.
Gone?
I found a confession. Not for any killings, but for playing a part in covering up George's death. He left this behind in case he died. He hoped someone would find it.
Do you think the whistling man already got him?
Possibly. We've had a lot of callers tonight, but maybe not every victim made it to the phone, you know? We don't know how many there really are.
Christ, Forrest, that's dark.
I know, but Clive said he had read about other murders in other towns, and that the murders were all folks who knew about the incident. And the killings were getting closer to Гэллоус-Крик. He said he wanted to do something good for once.
The board in his office. He wasn't tracking people down to kill them. He was tracking them down to save them. Ugh, why didn't he just come out with all of this?
He said his employer threatened his family if he spoke out about any of it.
His employer? The one who orchestrated the cover-up? Oh, Clive. I'm sorry for thinking you'd killed all those people. Do you think you found everything?
I think so.
Forrest, what's going on here?
Someone wanted that boy's death to seem like an accident, and they hired Clive to make it look that way.
Come back upstairs when you're ready. We need to figure out our next step.
Из могилы вы обнаружили изыскание Клайва. 3 часа ночи игровых. Ей.
Thank God you're back, Forrest. I've been running out of stuff to pad our airtime with.
Peggy, you work in radio.
Forrest, I'm stressed. I mean, really. How are we supposed to keep a show going with all this happening?
This is our job, Peggy. We gotta do it.
You're right. So, what's the plan now?
I think we should call Virginia back.
All right, I'll get her on the line. When you're ready, shut the music off.
Блин, надеялся название песни увидеть. С глазами тигра.
Hello again, Гэллоус-Крик. This is Fоррестом Нэшом. We're circling closer to the truth behind tonight's events. To this end, we're calling back one of our earlier callers, Virginia Sullivan.
Не у Вирджинии есть вечеринка? Да.
Here? Who's this? Is it you? Goose.
Plunker, hey, it's the radio man, Forrestom Нэshom.
Radio man? What's up?
Solving mysteries, saving lives. The huge.
Right on.
Plunker, what are you doing at Virginia's house?
She asked if we could stay to keep an eye out for that whistling turd. So we're hanging out, bro.
Well, that's big of you, Plunker.
No, it's nothing.
Can I speak to Virginia?
Sure thing, radio man. I'll just go get her.
Who is this?
Hey, Virginia, it's Forrest. I'm glad you're still okay.
Oh, Forrest. Sorry, I'm still jumpy.
I can't blame you. I'd be jumpy too.
I'm so sorry this happened to you, Virginia.
I thought I was. I thought...
Easy. We're not calling to talk about earlier. We're calling because we think you can help us understand why this is happening tonight.
Me? What would I know?
Does the name Clive mean anything to you?
Clive? No. I don't know that name. What are you asking about this for?
You mentioned that name earlier when you called us the first time.
I don't know what I said then. I was petrified, Forrest.
Clive's the janitor at our station, and we know you spoke to him in the past.
Forrest, please. You don't know what you're doing. He'll come for me.
Virginia, it's okay. Clive won't be coming after you.
We think Clive's dead.
Dead? But isn't he? He's the whistling man, Forrest.
Why are you so certain Clive's the whistling man?
Because he... all those years ago, he...
It's okay, Virginia. He's gone. We found evidence to suggest he... well...
And we found your autopsy reports for George Barrow.
How? I saw him destroy them.
Well, he didn't. I don't know if he kept them or made copies or what, but we found them. And we know it's related to what's happening tonight, which is why we called you. Why did you write a false report?
All right. One day, I came into work to find a boy on my slab. And as I finished the autopsy,
блин.
this man, Clive, he just burst in. And he started making demands to give over the reports, to falsify what I found. Of course I said no. But, well, when someone wants to make you do something, they can use the carrot or the stick. For me, he used both. You see, my sister is sick.
А, в негативном, я понял.
She has a chronic condition that's never going away. It's expensive to treat, and it was getting to where I couldn't afford it. And Clive promised me that his employer would pay for my sister's treatment if I did what he said, and that if I ever spoke about this, he'd beat me to within an inch of my life. I don't know why he had me do it, but my sister needed me. You have to understand. She needed me.
We understand.
Thank you, Virginia. That was brave.
God, I just want this nightmare to end.
This will help end it, Virginia. Thank you.
Stay safe, Virginia. So, Virginia's tied up in all of this.
Clive threatened her to keep quiet about George's death. But for who? Why cover up these details?
Для сына,
We could try
возможно?
Sandra.
What would Sandra know?
I don't know, but we have to start somewhere. Anyway, just be careful when you're talking to her. Don't push too hard. We don't want her to hang up.
I'll be careful.
All right, calling her now. Hopefully she's at her jazz studio. Aha! Forrest, you're through.
Hello, this is Sandra at Jazz Pizzazz Jazz Studio. Who is this?
Hello again, Sandra! It's Forrestom Нэшом of 189.16, The Scream. And you're live on air.
Oh, I always thought folks called into a radio show, not the other way around. How jazzy. What can I do for you?
Well, we're trying to understand what's behind the attacks tonight. We had a few questions.
Why, Forrest, of course. Heck, after the way you saved my life, I'd say yes to just about anything you asked.
I'm calling to talk about death and murder, Sandra.
Yes.
Be serious.
Now you go right to it, huh? I don't know as much about that as I do jazz and jazz dancing, but I'll try. What do you want to ask me?
Do you know why the Whistling Man might have targeted you?
Ha! As far as I could tell, he was just a knife-wielding psycho with superhuman cardio. He'd have chased after anybody.
Right. Well, we think he might be chasing specific people. People who know about the death of a boy named George.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. Sorry.
Have you had to keep quiet about anything? Any secrets you've had to keep?
What would I have to keep quiet about?
I don't know. I mean, could be that you've seen something or heard something.
I never saw anything. And even if I did, what would that matter? And it was years ago.
Sandra, are you okay?
It was years ago.
We know, Sandra.
You do? You know about?
Yes. Of course.
This studio is my life. After I found the body in the river, I couldn't lose my studio. Do you understand?
Sure. I understand.
When the rent just kept going up, he said he'd stop if I just needed to keep quiet. And everything would be okay.
Of course. We understand.
I mean, it's not like I killed him. What was the harm in saying I found him in the reservoir instead of the river? Right? Right? I'm sorry. I can't do this.
And she's gone. I don't think that could have gone any better. You truly did great, Forrest.
Well, folks, if anyone out there has any thoughts on what's going on tonight, please call in.
That's good timing. We've got a call waiting just this second.
Так, секунду.
189.16.
Welcome to 189.16, The Scream, with me, your host, Forrestom Нэшом.
Hi, Forrest. I know this is really out of the blue with everything happening tonight. But I wondered if you could send this special birthday message to my uncle.
You know what? I'd welcome a change of pace. I'd be glad to.
Thank you, Forrest. He's my Uncle Ronnie. His first name's Peter, but he never liked his name. But since he always had salt and pepper hair, even as a kid, can you believe it? Folks always called him Pepper.
Thanks for the history lesson. Is there anything besides happy birthday you would like to say to Mr. Pepper? Oh my god damn it!
Yes! Tell him he can get the best birthday deals and party packages here at Putney's Pizza. Starting at just...
You son of a bitch! Stop calling us!
Sorry, Forrest. Let's just move on. We've already got another caller on the line.
Theater if Gallus High wins this Tuesday.
This is 189.16, The Scream. I'm Forrestom Нэшom. You're on the air, caller. Caller. Ponty.
Ponty's Pizza always delivers. Come rain or sleet or whistling man, we'll
Forrest? Forrest? Are you okay? Forrest?
I hope the whistling man gets him with his own pizza slicer.
Jesus, Forrest?
Sorry, that was too much.
It's okay. It's been a high-stress night. Don't worry
О, она
about him
похожа на
anymore,
глаз.
okay? Not for tonight, anyway. I think he's spent for now. We've got another call, whenever you're ready.